Welcome to this retro content from Throwback Thursdays, whether it's from NoDQ.com, the Jeff Meacham Network, Casa D18 Studios itself, a Simple Man's brand, or the J. Hebert Studios, and anything to do with FTW Productions. This will be the content re-aired right here on Throwback Thursdays that you could expect to see on the Casa channel. I know watching back some of our old content, whether it's the open mic night intro where I'm laid on my bed, which I kind of cringe at, especially with this cool-ass setup now, or whether it's, just about anything to do with what we have done on FTW Productions, from a Simple Man's brand, from the J. Hebert Studios, to even some Insanity Works and Retro Wrestling Fortune 44 Incorporated stuff. There's some good stuff, there's some cringe stuff, and either way, I hope you guys enjoy that stuff coming up, and, even if you didn't enjoy it, I'll be along with you for the ride. Some of the stuff does not age well, like Jeff's content does. I know he has done a deep dive on his own content and cringed at his own self, but either way, I hope you enjoy it regardless. I know in some of these clips, I have a fondness to them. So with that being said, enjoy this Throwback Thursday, and until next time, we'll see you on the J. Hebert side.
Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
Unbelievable. Alright, SummerSlam is over. Beth's head is in my shot. There we go. Much better. What can I say? John Cena retained the title. I was wrong. John Morrison retained the title. I was wrong. Greg Khali got himself DQ'd. I said he would train this. I don't think I actually picked Batista to win. I think I picked Khali to win, so I technically got that one wrong, too. Not a good night for picks for me. What else happened? I picked Beth Phoenix, though. I did pick Beth Phoenix. I picked Kane. Kennedy job clean. What the fuck? Whatever. It's alright. What was the other match? I'm missing a match in there somewhere. Somebody help me out there. What am I missing? Oh well, it's okay. Anyway. Divas Battle Royal. I already said Beth Phoenix won. Thank you over there.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, Mysterio made his memorable comeback. Triple H made his memorable comeback. I picked those two to win, of course. So I did about 50-50. So what are you gonna do? It's my first pay-per-view since beginning Talk Wrestling that I actually got to watch, because I didn't watch Great American Bash because it sucked. We talked about that with Greg Cherry, right? Anyway, this is Talk Wrestling number 8, and you are watching it on NoDQ.com, MySpace, and YouTube. Let's kick it off right now. Alright, here we go. Episode 8 of Talk Wrestling here on NoDQ.com or MySpace or NoDQ&AV's YouTube page. Thank you again, everybody that watched last week. A number of hits once again. SummerSlam picks were way over with the fans, and you saw at the top of the show my reaction to SummerSlam and how well I did. So, yeah, we're moving on to Unforgiven now, and No Surrender coming up for TNA. Let's just get right into your questions. I don't even want to waste any time today. This is from a guy who calls himself, "My friends and family are all I'll ever need. Me and my friends do backyard wrestling, and we've watched other backyarders, and I personally think we are the best backyarders in the world. But I want to know if there's a way for me to pursue my career in wrestling, because I hope to become at least an indie wrestler, because I love what we do, and I love the fact that we do it." I've been waiting for a question like this for a long time. Thank you very much for being the one to do it. Backyard wrestling is a joke. I think that backyard wrestling is very, very foolish, very, very silly. I think that anybody that does backyard wrestling needs to have their head examined, and that includes somebody behind the camera, because he used to do it. I remember. I watched the tapes. I saw it. Him and Nagel and Austin and everybody. I saw it. It was crazy. They're nuts, and I think anybody that does it now is nuts. If you want to pursue a career in wrestling, go finish college first. Finish your education. Go to wrestling school afterwards. Go to a credible wrestling school like a Dory. It doesn't say where you are in the world, but if you're in Florida, go to see Terry Funk's brother, Dory Funk Jr. Go to OVW. Go to Florida Championship Wrestling. Go to a credible championship wrestling school and get your education done the right way. Don't sit there and wrestle around your backyard with light tubes and freaking steel chairs and thumbtacks and all that other bullshit. Go to a real wrestling school, but get your education done first. That's the key in anything in life, is to have an education to fall back on, because wrestling is nothing for certain, ever. This one's from Jason Gallegos. In your opinion, who is the best wrestler in all the top brands? Raw, SmackDown, ECW, TNA, as well as Ring of Honor. Who has the best of all abilities, most skilled out of those? Which do you think is the current best? Me personally, I don't think there's anyone more skilled than AJ Styles. He's done the impossible. What else can I say? He's phenomenal. I think Styles is right up there in TNA's top crop, but you can't look anything past the world champion, Kurt Angle. He's the best right now. Same thing with Raw. The WWE champion is the top dog. SmackDown, the world champion, is the top guy, and ECW, the world champion, is the top person. You got to look at the brands. The brand, whoever the champion is, the brand is the top person. That's just the way it is. Ring of Honor, whoever the world champion. I don't even know who the Ring of Honor world champion is right now. That's really sad. I'm sorry to Ring of Honor fans. I don't know who the world champion is right now. I'll look it up. I promise. But out of everybody that's around right now in TNA, WWE, and Ring of Honor, I'd say the best overall right now is either Samoa Joe or AJ Styles. Just my personal opinion. Christopher Daniels is up there too. Alright, Michael from Australia sent this question about 5 or 6 times, and without me answering it yet, so he wants to know what WWE would do if John Cena was ever injured or put out of action indefinitely, because they've invested so much stock and so much time and so much money in Cena. Really good question. I like it a lot. It's just, you don't have to send the question in 6 or 7 times. We got it. No worries, Michael. I'll get to you. I think that they've proven that they can recover losing a big talent. They lost Hogan, and they recovered. They lost Brett and recovered. They lost Austin and recovered. They've lost The Rock and recovered. They've lost Triple H for a time and recovered. And I think if they lose Cena, they'll recover. WWE is very resilient. They've proven that many, many, many times over the years. And I think that, if Cena were to be out of action indefinitely due to injury or some other weird circumstance, WWE would move on, they would thrive, they would survive, by far. Dave, do you think that CM Punk will ever leave the ECW brand and get a run with the WWE or World Heavyweight Championship? Well, let me tell you this. After what happened at SummerSlam, who knows? He could leave ECW at some point and be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, but I think he's going to stick with ECW for the short term, if not the long term. He's had success there, and I think CM Punk fits in better in ECW. I think his straight-edge style is more reminiscent of the old ECW as far as the wrestling style. So I think that he'll stick with them for at least the short term, if not the long term. This is from Zach Rizza. If you were a GM and had everyone in the world of wrestling, past, present, WWE, TNA, Indy, etc., to make a dream card, what matches would you make? Oh, God. I'll tell you what. I'll post that one on my blog because that's a really long, drawn-out question to answer. So, but I would definitely throw AJ Styles on that card, Samoa Joe on that card, Christopher Daniels on that card, Jack Evans on that card, Joey Ryan would be on that card, John Cena would be on that card, Hogan would be on that card in a Legends match, Ric Flair would be on that card, Steve Austin, The Rock, Triple H, guys like Edge and Christian would be on that card for sure. So I'm just trying to look at my wall of shame here. Mick Foley would be on that card, The Big Show would be on that card, Andre would be on that card, I think. But as far as the actual matches, I have to really think long and hard about that and post it on a blog perhaps. But those would be some of the guys that I have on my card for sure. And the Divas. Can't forget the Divas. I'd have Trish. I'd have Lita. I'd have Sunny. I'd have the Fabulous Moolah even. I'd have Molly Holly. Stacy Keibler. Jazz. I'd have Victoria. I'd have Jacqueline. Sable. Any of them. This one's from Jake. Have you heard about the card for the PWG Battle of Los Angeles tournament? If so, who do you have winning it and why? Well, funny you happen to mention that because right now, as you watch this probably, the tournament's taking place and I am there. I'm here, but I'm there. It doesn't make sense, but maybe. It's actually the Burbank Armory in Burbank, California, and I am there right now. You've got Chris Hero and Joey Ryan, Austin Aries and Roderick Strong, Jimmy Rave and Matt Seidel from Wrestling Society X. The American Dragon, the world champion, Bryan Danielson of PWG against the anarchist Doug Williams. Tyler Black against Claudio Castagnoli, who was in the NWA Championship Tournament. Our buddy Jack Evans against the man that gravity forgot, Pac, one half of the former World Tag Team Champions. You got SEMA against our buddy the Human Tornado. Scott Lost against Shingo. Nigel McGuinness against Davey Richards, who won the tournament last year. Necro Butcher against Mr. Wrestling Kevin Steen. The Dragon Kid against Susumu Yokosuka. Sorry about that. And El Generico against Super Dragon, both Ring of Honor guys. It's going to be a good tournament this year. Probably the best they've ever done. And who do I think is going to win it? Well, American Dragon's a top candidate, Bryan Danielson, but keep in mind, he's going to be in the NWA Championship match in Puerto Rico on Saturday the 1st. So he may or may not be there for Night 3, which is Sunday, September 2nd. So you'll just have to wait and see. I think Kevin Steen is a good pick. He's been kind of the anti-management, and management's been kind of pushing him down. They put him in a match against Necro Butcher, who's a fucking crazy guy. He's nuts. And I think that Mr. Wrestling's going to have a tough test ahead of him. El Generico's another good pick. He's one of the half of the World Tag Team Champions. Super Dragon's Dark Horse. Joey Ryan is always a good pick. Joey Ryan has kind of been battling his way back to the championship. This would be a good way for him to get a title shot because you get anything you want if you win the Battle of Los Angeles. So out of all those guys, I have to go with probably, I'm going to say either Jack Evans or Scott Lost. That's just my personal pick. Alright, this is from Christopher. I wanted to ask you if you think the ECW originals are getting shafted, because here is my theory. First off, WWE went away from the ECW style, which is get it done any way you want to, or as Taz like to say, it's all good in the hood. Next is Balls Mahoney. He was good in ECW and was known for swinging chairs hard enough that bent the chair beyond the point of being used again. Third is Vengeance Night of Champions, where the WWE title match was challenged by all those on Raw who were former world champions. Well, in the supplemental draft, Sandman went to Raw, and he is a 5-time ECW World Champion. If Sandman wasn't in, the Bobby Lashley shouldn't have been either, for his only world title was in ECW. If they were planning this for the ECW originals all along, the WWE should just kept the annual one-night stand an annual event and not a brand extension. Well, I agree with that anyway. I think ECW one-night stand should be a one-night event only and not a brand extension. I think ECW has proven that they're not the ECW of old. I think that it's a extension of WWE. That's exactly what the brand extension is. It's an extension of the WWE brand. And they've extended their brand name around the ECW brand and changed it. I think that keeping it one night stand just ECW would have been a much better concept for them. It would have made them more money, I believe, because they're not making any more money. They're not drawing any better ratings by having a third brand, I don't think. And I agree with you. It should have been an annual event only, not a one night thing only, and not a brand extension. Good question. Thank you. This one is from Anthony. What are your thoughts on Marcus Corvan? It's now been a few weeks, and I heard they said he had a family thing to deal with, but he hasn't been back on TV. Do you have any idea what could have happened? He is dealing with the death of the family at the moment, and the family's coping. They're recovering, and it's a very trying time for the Brown family. Bonnie Brown's his real name, for those of you that don't know. And I think that he's going to take the time that he needs and the time that the family needs for them to fully heal and to get past this. And I think that once he gets past this, he'll be back on WWE TV with open arms. He'll be welcome back with open arms. Thank you for the question. I don't really know all the details, but I do know that he's taken the time that his family needs for him to be there, and rightfully so. This is from John O'Brien. What do you think of William Regal as the new Raw General Manager? I think it's a bad idea. I think I mentioned this on the show previously, but I could be wrong. Regal is better off as a wrestling talent. He's better off in the ring. He's a tremendous mat wrestler, tremendous skill technician. I think he's better off performing in the ring every night instead of... it could be he may be getting a little bit older. He doesn't want to do that anymore, which I understand that if that's the case. But I think Jonathan Coachman, as much as I dislike Coach, I've never been a big fan of Coach, but he started to grow on me. I'll admit it. He started to grow on me as the interim general manager. I think he should have remained in that permanent role. I think he made a great GM, and I think he could have stuck around longer as the general manager instead of just being Mr. McMahon's assistant and trying to help him find his illegitimate son. But that's just me. I don't know. This is from the Wizard of Odd. Where can one find good wrestling near LA? I'm in Los Alamitos. PWG. In Burbank right now. ProWrestlingGorilla.com. You can check them out. There's also Alternative Wrestling Show at AlternativeWrestlingShow.com. There's UPW when they run UltimateProWrestling.com. UPW.com. There's a number of best place to go is to SoCalUncensored.com. They have a list of all the SoCal wrestling venues and the promotions. They're a great place. SoCal Uncensored is a great source. You can check out the PWG results, by the way, for the tournament at SoCalUncensored.com. This one's from Robin. Do you think Evolution will ever come together again? No. I think that Evolution's time is done. They're on separate brands now, most of them. The two of them on Raw, two of them on SmackDown. And Randy Orton's doing just fine on his own. We've seen that. Triple H is doing just fine as a member of DX or on his own. And Flair and Batista are doing just fine by themselves on SmackDown. Evolution was a 2-year run for them, essentially. And I think that they're actually 2 years? Actually more than that, like almost 3 years. But Evolution's time has come and gone, much like the Horsemen's time has come and gone, much like the NWO's time has come and gone, and even DX, I'd say. Evolution was a great stable, no doubt about it. They were a great faction, but I think that their time is in the past. Carnage Bagels. Uh-oh, Bagels Rift. Uh-oh. Do you think Axel Rotten could ever make it big in TNA or WWE? Why or why not? I think you need to look no further than the fact that he was part of ECW One Night Stand 05, but not 06. I think Axel is a great talent. I think Axel's a hell of a hardcore wrestler, but he fits into the strictly hardcore style. He's not really a good wrestler per se. So I don't think he'd fit in WWE or TNA. I think you need to have more than a smattering of wrestling talent, and I like Axel Rotten. I like him as a hardcore wrestler, but that's what he was. He was a hardcore wrestler, much like the Sandman. They're both, they fit into that hardcore style. They're not really just, straight technical wrestlers, and I think that's going to be Axel's downfall if he wants to get a job with either company. Thank you very much to everybody that submitted questions. However, go back and watch the other 7 episodes. I beg of you, please, because we're getting a lot of repeats that I had to delete. And I still have over 100 questions in my inbox that I have to go through. So if I don't get to your question, I will. But it's very, very hard. I have a job full-time during the week, and I've got a lot of other things going on. No more Rocky Horror. They kicked me off the cast. But I have a lot of other things going on, and don't forget to check out NoDQ.com and MySpace.com/Jeff Meacham and YouTube under the username NoDQ&AV. Don't forget to check out ProWrestlingGuerrilla.com for the Battle of Los Angeles information. If you're not already there, probably missed the first night, check out night 2 and night 3 of the tournament. I'm going to be there. Come out and see me, say hi. Ask me my thoughts on the tournament so far. And we will see you next time for episode number 9 of Talk Wrestling. Bye-bye.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
conversation. As always, I am Sean Hardy.
And I'm Chris Hardy.
And we're here to bring you the goings-ons in the world of professional wrestling. This past week, we've got a lot to get to because we're obviously filming our show a little bit later in the week than normal, so we have a lot to talk about. We're going to try and go through it as quickly as possible. If you feel that we didn't mention something, or we forgot something, or we didn't spend enough time talking about something, write us and maybe we can get that in on next week's show. Impact last week, not this one that happened yesterday because we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Last week's Impact wasn't very eventful. The one thing that caught my eye that was really cool and I was happy about was Homicide cashing in TNA's version of the Money in the Bank briefcase, aka Feast or Fired, to collect the X Division Championship from Suicide. I've seen Homicide a little bit out here in SoCal working the Indy circuit, PWG. Awesome talent, awesome guy. Congratulations, Homicide, on becoming X Division champion. SmackDown, I didn't get to see Chris.
Nothing really eventful. I mean, Jericho talking about Edge. Edge did do a little clip, at home in Canada, or where he's living now, saying he'll be back. And Jericho comes out, kind of this whole heel promo saying, "You're the missing link of the tag team." It's basically that's not champions, his mystery partner, Punk Jeff. Nothing really else about that.
Okay, Raw this past week, guest hosted by
Top.
Very lame. I'm sorry. I was kind of looking forward to ZZ Top, even though they were old, to hosting Raw. All their backstage skits were taped. They just didn't give off enough energy, like they were really there. It felt like they were back in a studio at WWE corporate or something. At least until the point where they came out in their little OG ride at the end of the show. If you're going to have a bunch of old rockers doing guest hosting, don't make them fake play to their music. That was pretty gay.
Yeah.
Santino Marella was funny as hell with them until the point where he ripped off his pants for the legs skit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nothing.
for a second there, I thought he was going to disappear and reemerge as Santino Marella. That would have been a little bit funnier, I think. But I digress. ECW, best thing about ECW was Christian is pretty much full on heel now. If he's not, he's seriously teasing a heel turn with the way that he talked down to Tommy Dreamer on the Denzel Washington show.
Isaiah Washington show.
Arsenio Hall. Anyways, the Abraham Washington show, Tommy Dreamer got talked down to. Christian slapped him like, a hoe that didn't have enough money for his pimp. Seriously, that Christian has got to be full on heel at this point. And if he's not, he probably will be coming at Night of Champions because this Hardy guy thinks that Christian will be Jericho's mystery partner.
I think it's going to be The Miz, because Miz is awesome.
Miz is awesome.
And I'm sure you know this, that Miz and Jericho have been going back and forth on Twitter, having a little rivalry, so I think they might just team up. That's my prediction, the Miz.
I haven't been reading a lot of internet rumors and spoilers. I didn't know about the whole Twitter thing. But the little shadow they show on the TV, I mean, I know it's supposed to be a generic shadow, but the outline kind of even resembles Christian. Jericho and Christian were tag partners before Christian went off to TNA and Jericho left for a couple of years. They were a really good team. And who better to replace Edge than Christian?
Yeah.
So that's just my prediction. It could be somebody out of complete left field. Hey, Shawn Michaels hasn't returned yet.
Matt Hardy.
Could be. Yeah. Could be Cody Rhodes doing the same type of angle they did last year. I have a mystery partner. Get in the ring, Oh yeah, my mystery partner is your current tag partner.
Could be Bret Hart.
Yeah, I doubt that. That one I doubt. We had, what was it, Victory Road?
Yes, Victory Road.
A couple weeks ago.
Or Evolution won all the belts.
It's the main event Mafia. They're definitely starting to set the main event Mafia up, I think, to totally rival Evolution, or even older than that, the Four Horsemen. Because the Horsemen were the original stable to capture all the major men's titles within a promotion. The thing I'd like to see now is Samoa Joe go after Homicide for the X Division title. That would give the Mafia one up on Evolution and the Horsemen, because then they would have 5 titles within their fold, whereas the other companies only had 4 at the time for them to acquire.
Yeah, I think they're more like the NWO, because TNA is very WCW. Hell, half their roster is old. I mean, the main event Mafia is half WCW, people. So I say they're more like the NWO, having everyone and their mother join up. Let's, take Sting out, put Joe and Taz in. Let's see what Matt Morgan can do.
Well, Matt Morgan isn't official as far as I know.
Yeah.
He's just kind of like a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Pay him, he'll take somebody out for you. Freelance mercenary.
Yeah.
But
in a few months, we'll probably have Johnny Fairplay as the TNA World Heavyweight Champion.
I seriously doubt that. But, so, Night of Champions preview real quickly before we get to your questions. CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy. I think Punk is going to win. I've been reading that there's a little bit of backstage heat on Jeff where, even though he hasn't re-signed a deal, he's asking for time off. I don't think they're going to put the strap on him if he's, demanding time off. End of story.
Yeah.
Triple threat match, Orton, Cena, and Triple H. I hope Orton retains, but something in my gut tells me that one of the other two is going to take the strap.
Yeah, I say probably Cena.
Dreamer versus Christian.
Christian.
I don't know. It depends on if Christian is going to be Jericho's mystery partner. Because I don't think they're going to double strap him when they could just have Tommy run with the gold for one more month and then have him lose it at SummerSlam. I really don't want to see Tommy lose the strap in Philly, the home of ECW, the birth of ECW. But Vince has been known to make people job in their hometown before.
Yeah.
And if they weren't willing to job in their hometown, he screwed them.
Pretty much.
IC title, Mysterio versus Ziggler. Something tells me Mysterio's just a transitional champ.
Yes.
That they're going to put the strap on Ziggler. Not a fan of Ziggler, wasn't a fan of Nikki, but whatever. Ziggler does need the push. The IC title could theoretically give him the push that he needs, in my opinion.
Yeah. I see Ziggler winning too.
U.S. title, MVP, Kofi Kingston defending, Big Show, Swagger, Miz, and I'm brain farting on the 6th person. I did this yesterday too. But either Kofi is going to retain, which I seriously doubt, or I want to see the Miz walk out with it.
Yeah, if Miz is not Jericho's mystery partner, I see Miz being U.S. champion.
Divas title,
Mickey James.
Yeah, Mickey James all the way. Maurice doesn't have a chance, in my opinion, against her. They haven't announced a women's championship match yet.
No, but tonight will be SmackDown, so we'll see about that.
I'm guessing it'll either be a rematch against Melina or possibly an open challenge that they'll just announce at the pay-per-view.
Natalia.
That would be my pick if it was an open challenge. And then, of course, the unified tag straps. Depending on who Jericho's partner is going to be, will depend on who wins it, in my opinion. First question is from our good buddy Double A.
Alright.
He wants to know that if we had Vince McMahon's power for a week, what would our first order of business be? My first order of business would be to strip all the champions of the titles and put the belts on people that I feel are being underutilized and are deserving of title pushes. Because there's a lot of people in the company right now that have been getting pushed for championships that nothing ever happens to. Crime Time has been #1 contenders for the tag belts numerous times in the company for what, like 3 or 4 years now? Have never gotten the tag straps.
I think they beat La Resistance for the #1 contendership, and they still got
Evan Bourne has been chasing Kofi for the U.S. title for like the past month. He's not even in the six-pack challenge.
He's facing Jamie Noble on freaking Superstars. What the hell?
So that would probably be my first order of business, is strip everybody, every championship, and then do a couple of tournaments, a couple of Fatal 4-Ways, Battle Royal maybe,
Ladder matches.
and put the straps on the people that I feel are deserving of pushes that haven't really gotten the chance to shine. Please don't say your first order of business would be to fire CM Punk.
Not even a second. No. I actually like that. I mean, I was a little surprised by what you said, stripping everybody. I would just make them lose the titles. I would say, I would come out and just, strip them of their belts, say, give me all your belts, all your champions. I would make them lose. I mean, I would make Punk lose to Jeff.
Big surprise there, folks.
Yeah, seriously. I'd probably make Cena lose to MVP. I would make...
Cena doesn't have a strap, though.
I mean, sorry, Orton. Orton lose to MVP. I would have Dreamer lose to Shelton Benjamin. Or the Hurricane for the ECW Championship. Tag Team Championships. Probably Evan Bourne and someone, or give him a U.S. Championship. I would love to see, I know you're probably going to laugh at this, but Evan Bourne and Jeff Hardy a tag team. Because they did have RVD and Jeff Hardy being a tag team a little while ago, years back, and have their finishers be Swanton Bomb into Airborne for the finisher, kind of like they were in Swanton Bomb and the 5-Star Frog Splash. I think Jeff and Bourne will be an amazing tag team.
I actually think that would be a good tag team, too. My only grievance with it at this point is that Jeff is at main event status and Bourne isn't. If I was to pair Bourne up with another high flyer, I would probably give him to, like, the Hurricane. I think Bourne and Helms would be a great tag team.
That would be cool. Divas, I would, keep Mickie James because I know she's going to win on Sunday. Women's, I would probably give it to Natalya because she's never won it. Melina, Michelle McCool, they've had their belts. Michelle doesn't deserve hers, but whatever. US and IC, give them to whoever you want to. Kofi Kingston, John Morrison, Dolph Ziggler, The Miz. Mix those people up, people who have not been mid-card status.
I would actually kind of like to see The Miz with the US and Morrison with IC, and then have them bump into each other backstage at a pay-per-view. And have some kind of encounter, since they were, a very dominant tag team. Next question is from Legacy Diva. She wants to know, if we could fire 5 wrestlers or divas, who would they be and why? And I already know #1 on Chris's list is going to be CM Punk. So who are your other 4 and why would you fire them? Well, then I'll take over.
Well, CM Punk because he sucks and he's gay. Probably Sheamus because he needs to get a tan. Go to Florida, go to California, whatever beach you want to pick, and get a big-ass tan on your white ass. Then come back, if you want to, because you're the Celtic Warrior. They're basically trying to do, Finley's old gimmick, trying to be the Irish big guy who wants to fight type of deal. But whatever. Kung Fu Naki, probably get rid of him. He's, wasting up, roster space. Haven't really seen him since he even did that, gimmick, so, whatever on that. Divas, I don't know, probably Jillian Hall, since, she's not doing anything. I know she's injured or sick or whatever. Probably get rid of her, and probably get rid of, like, Rosa Mendez, or Alicia Fox, who's basically just being lackeys for Beth Phoenix or Michelle McCool. Not really doing anything.
Okay. I would fire the Great Khali. He is a huge waste of talent, and aside from having him come out and be a 7'5" joke lately, it was one thing when they had him being a dominant big man and just beating people up. That was one thing. I could buy it a little bit, even though he still sucked.
Yeah.
But him coming out running the kiss cam and wanting to date Santina, all these little things have just totally shattered any image he had as a dominant big man. There's nowhere for him to go from here, so I would get rid of him.
Yeah.
I would get rid of Michelle McCool. If you need to know why, go back a couple episodes, watch my rant. I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
I would get rid of... I like Alicia Fox. Get rid of her, I don't mean that I like her her, but I like the idea of getting rid of her. She doesn't do anything or bring anything good to the show.
Yeah.
I would get rid of the Big Show, because I still don't understand why they really brought him back in the first place. WWE wasn't missing anything when he was gone, and he's up there, demands a pretty hefty salary. They could probably bring in a bunch of young, new guys who can do a lot better things with the money they're paying for the Big Show. The last person I would get rid of isn't going to be popular. All you little kiddies sitting around the internet, I would get rid of John Cena. Reason I would get rid of John Cena, it has nothing to do with my dislike for him. It honestly doesn't. I think John Cena has gotten very stale as a gimmick. I think that if we got rid of him, let him go back to basics on the indies or whatnot, remember that he used to be a good wrestler, then a couple years down the road brought him back, I think he would actually be better than ever. This is all just my opinion, though.
Yeah.
Our last question is off of Facebook. It's just for you, and it's from a new person writing a question called Hardy is a Poser.
Well, I don't like him already.
Well, we take questions from guys named Punk Sucks, so I figure we gotta be fair. There are people out there that hate on the Hardys. Chris, why are you always swinging from Jeff's nutsack like a $2 hooker? You need to come up for air, back up off them a little bit, and let the motherfuckers sway. And why do you always come up with gay-ass ideas for a storyline? I mean, come on. Most of them are just retarded, but that's my opinion.
Yes, that is his opinion, and you still suck. Gay-ass storylines? I really don't think so. I mean, yes, I like to put the straps around Jeff because he actually deserves it because they've been screwing him royally the past few years, but I don't think Jeff is a poser. I think you are. Really, that was a stupid-ass question. I don't hang my ball sacks on him or whatever kind of crap you were saying. That's freaking gay as hell. Why would you be thinking of a guy's ball sack, Hardy poser? So, I'm not going to dignify that with an answer because that's just stupid. You are stupid.
And on that note, that'll do it for episode 8. We will be back next week, hopefully around our normal day, Wednesday or Thursday, with episode 9. Till then, I'm Sean.
Chris.
See you later.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Hello everybody, this is Double A, the normal cameraman for the Renegade of Wrestling channel on YouTube. Shouts out to guys over there. Just letting you know to be on the lookout for my new show, The Double Down with Double A. It's going to be innovative, it's going to be fun. I'm not always going to talk about wrestling. I'm going to talk about sports, current events, or just shit that just really just pisses me off. So be sure to tune in very soon.
Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from NoDQ.com.
What you gonna do when no DQ&A runs wild on you, brother? That's right. Welcome to No DQ&A here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner of No DQ Aaron Rift. Let's get right down to your questions. Do you think Rey Mysterio will be able to return by WrestleMania 28? Okay, here's the situation with Rey Mysterio. He's set for knee surgery this coming Friday. He's been putting it off for a long time. He was going to try to do rehab, but then he screwed up his knee in the match with Alberto Del Rio on Raw a few weeks ago. So it's really up in the air. You know, there was talk about Rey Mysterio facing Sin Cara at WrestleMania 28, but as I mentioned on that previous No DQ&A video, it all depended on both the situation with Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio's health. And right now, it's looking like, you know, he's going to be out of action for several months. He might not make it back for WrestleMania 28. It's really something that could go 50-50 at this point. So we'll see. Okay. The WWE roster is looking really weak. I mean, what if Randy Orton or John Cena woke up one morning and said they quit or do not want to resign? Yeah, it's definitely a problem. And, you know, it's a lot due to the fact that the developmental program has been so weak. They don't have any guys that, you know, are ready to get on TV. And right now, the closest thing they have is CM Punk, that somebody that's at the level of John Cena or Randy Orton. Then we'll see how things go with CM Punk. But yeah, it's definitely something WWE needs to work on, their whole developmental system, so they can have guys that are ready to step up when John Cena and Randy Orton are no longer able to be the top guy. Okay, your thoughts on the whole Matt Hardy thing and his comments after the wreck. It's just really sad. The whole Matt Hardy situation from day to day continues to get more and more unfortunate to watch and to deal with and to talk about. My opinion is that Matt Hardy just needs to get off the internet and, you know, fix himself, fix his problems. He's got his relationship problems. He's got a whole bunch of issues he needs to deal with. And posting these internet videos of him showing his room trashed and saying it's some supernatural spirit, it's just making him look really bad. And you know, hopefully he'll get his act together. You know, I do not dislike Matt Hardy. You know, people say, you're just trying to smear his good name, and you're spreading lies, and these are coming from all the diehard Matt Hardy fans. I'm a big Matt Hardy fan. I do not want to see him like this. I want to see him get his help. I want to see him, be healthy. I don't want to see him end up being another casualty in wrestling. So, best of luck to Matt Hardy. Hopefully, he gets his act taken care of in the near future, because it's really looking bad right now. Okay. I know over the last 15 years or so... Oh, wait a minute. I shouldn't be doing that. Better not do that. Okay. I know over the last 15 years or so there hasn't been much in the way of managers, but I was just wondering who have been some of your favorites in that time span. I was really a big fan of Paul Heyman when he was doing the whole agent for Brock Lesnar and Big Show. I also liked Daivari when he was doing his whole thing with Muhammad Hassan. So there you go. Like you said, I also like Estrada when he was managing Umaga and doing the whole catchphrase right there. So, yeah, like you said, there haven't been a lot of managers, and it would be really cool to see the managers brought back. It's just something interesting, and the managers were always able to help get over the guys that couldn't talk well on the mic. So, I mean, you look at a lot of these developmental guys coming up, and they cannot really cut a promo very well. If you had like an old school manager guy doing a promo for them, that would really help them get over. So, yeah, I would like to see managers return on a full-time basis, definitely. If you could go back in time and stop one event in wrestling history, what would it be and why? Vince Russo going to WCW. Enough said. What are your thoughts on Sting's Joker gimmick, and do you think it will somewhat tarnish his legacy? Well, if anything was going to tarnish Sting's legacy, it would have been going to TNA in the first place. But quite frankly, I think it's fine. The whole Joker thing, at least it's something different. It's better than just Sting being the same old crow gimmick that he's been for the past 15 years. Why, if he's going to be around anyways, why not just change it up and do something different? I'm perfectly fine with the Sting Joker gimmick, to be honest with you. All right, that about does it for No DQ&A today. You can submit questions, formspring.me/Aaron Rift, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. I promise I will not e-beg for money, and I promise to keep this show nice and steady in the near future and the weeks to come. Thank you for your support, and we'll see you next time.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 8 of the Renegade of Wrestling. I am your host, JJ Williams, and I'm back, bitches. That's right. Now, 2 weeks ago, I brought you episode 7 from the line of the Chris Jericho signing. A couple things have happened in the last couple weeks, which is why I haven't been here to bring you an episode. I was sick, my daughter was sick, and I didn't want to be here in front of the camera if I wasn't at 100% for you, the fans. That being said, first thing I'm going to talk about is the Chris Jericho book, Undisputed. If you haven't read it yet, what the fuck are you waiting for? Get your ass out, go to Borders, buy it because it's like 30% off right now because they're going out of business. Buy Undisputed. That book is mad fruit. Now, for those of you that don't get it, I'm not going to explain to you what fruit is until the show after WrestleMania. But for those of you that are in the know, that have read it, you know that book is mad fruit. And I make a pledge out there to all the Jerichoholics that watch my show. Let's try and give Chris his wish and make fruit a part of the everyday vernacular, or verbal lingo, if you will, and use it on a regular basis, because the term fruit is fruit. And you know it. On to regular business at hand. Victory Road was last night. That's all I really got to say about that. Victory Road was god-awful. It felt like I watched an episode of Impact, but paid $40 for it. Luckily, I didn't pay. I went to Justin.tv and watched it for free, but I still feel like I wasted 3 hours of my time. Matt Hardy and AJ Styles and the Ultimate X match were the only two good things about the show. Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer was good 13 years ago when they were in ECW. You know, Inc. and Beer Money had potential to be an awesome tag title match. TNA had an opportunity to put the belts onto Inc. and take the tag team division a new way, but they kept them on Beer Money. They're tried and true standard bearers. I don't get that, but whatever. Angelina Love and Winter lost the TNA Knockout titles to Sarita and Rosita. I'm kind of torn about this one because I like Sarita and Rosita, but I love me some Winter. I could care less about Angelina Love. She looks like a $2 crack whore that I can find on the corner of PCH and Eximino at 3 o'clock in the morning. Winter is actually talented. So, you know, Jeff Hardy versus Sting, 90 seconds? Really? Really? Let me get this on record. From the day that I got into pro wrestling, I was one of the biggest Jeff Hardy fans that you could ever meet. I probably was the biggest Hardy fan until I met my former co-host on a Hardy Conversation, Chris Hardy. And he blew me out of the water as a Hardy fan. But Jeff Hardy, you are slowly killing yourself, man. I cannot stand behind what you're doing to your body anymore. I will not stand behind it. In fact, from this day forward, you will not hear me boast and brag about Jeff Hardy. I still may have to talk about him on the show. Because, you know, if he wins the title or goes to jail, it's going to be newsworthy, so you're going to hear about it. But you will not hear me brag about Jeff Hardy anymore. I officially wash my hands of Jeff Hardy with this episode right here. Okay? I do not want to turn on my computer, you know, in a week and see Jeff Hardy found dead in his Cameron, North Carolina house. Drug overdose. Because that's where you're leading, Jeff. Seriously. Over to the WWE. Raw and SmackDown have pretty much been, you know, standard lately. Everyone's getting ready for WrestleMania. By far, John Cena and The Rock have been stealing the show each week. What's this you say? The Renegade is talking bad about Jeff Hardy and he's praising John Cena? What the fuck is happening here? Is hell freezing over? No. John Cena is just going back to what made me like him in the first place. It's been well documented I'm not the hugest John Cena fan. It's been documented that I'm not the hugest Rock fan anymore because I feel like John Cena feels, that The Rock turned his back on us. I'm not going to lie, when Rocky came out in Anaheim and cut his promo, I marked out. I had goosebumps going up and down my arms. But the very next week, when The Rock didn't show up, he proved John Cena's point all along. The Rock has turned his back on us, people. Get over it. In the bottom of my gut, I believe that this program was originally set up to turn John Cena heel. Something we've wanted for the longest time. Rocky, you're turning yourself heel by not showing up. When you come and you breed it via satellite, you prove John Cena's point. I don't know what else I can say to you, Rocky. Or excuse me, Dwayne. I don't know what else I can say to you to get it through your head, Dwayne. Okay? But you're proving John Cena right. And as soon as you make your grand return at WrestleMania, assuming you don't come back before then, you're going to get booed out the building. The Miz will get a bigger pop than you. Hands down. I received a question this past week. One of my friends online asked me who was my favorite Intercontinental Champion of all time. And I had to tell him, I was like, dude, I cannot answer you that question right now. Let me think about it, and I'll answer it on my show this week. So here I am, keeping my word. I'm going to answer that question. There's a lot of things I can use to answer that question. Do I go with the first ever Intercontinental Champion, Pat Patterson? Do I go with the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion of all time, the Honky Tonky Man? Do I go with the youngest Intercontinental Champion, Jeff Hardy? Do I go with the oldest Intercontinental Champion ever, Ric Flair? You know, do I go with Chris Jericho, who's held the Intercontinental title 9 times, the most out of anybody? What do I use to base my opinion? And I thought about it long and hard. It was like, I can't come up with just one favorite. I've got probably about 5 favorite Intercontinental Champions, all from different eras, all of them favorites for different reasons. I'm going to break those down for you right now, in no particular order. Dolph Ziggler. Why are you picking Dolph Ziggler? He's too recent. He can't be your favorite Intercontinental Champion of all time. No, trust me, if I was ranking this, he'd probably be number 5 or number 4. Okay? I like him as Intercontinental Champion because he got it a year late. They missed the boat on him at SummerSlam 2009. He should have beat Rey Mysterio then for the Intercontinental Champion. But for whatever reason, they made him wait. And what happened when they gave him the belt? He freaking dominated with it. Dolph Ziggler is now a Triple Crown champion, folks. Think about it. He defeated Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship via cheap disqualification, granted, but his name is now etched in the history books. Dolph Ziggler, World Heavyweight Champion. He was the Intercontinental Champion. And as Nikki, member of the Spirit Squad, he's a former Tag Team Champion. Nick Nemeth, aka Dolph Ziggler, is a Triple Crown Champion. A lot of people don't count him as that because he was Nikki as the Tag Team Champion and not Dolph. Same guy, though. Seriously. That would be like saying that, Hulk Hogan held a title, or Mr. America held a title, but not Hulk Hogan. We all know Mr. America was Hulk Hogan. Granted, Mr. America never did hold a title, thank God, but it would be the same thing. It's saying that Triple H and Hunter Hearst Helmsley are two different gimmicks. It's the same guy. Same big-ass nose, same long hair, just a different gimmick. So Dolph Ziggler is one of them. Triple H is another one. Triple H I pick because he's one of the few guys that achieved the pinnacle, the WWE Championship, the World Heavyweight Championship, and then took a step back and said, now, in order to help some of the younger guys get over, I'm going to rock the Intercontinental title. That takes a lot of a short ego, for lack of a better term. I can't think of the right way I want to verbalize it, but that shows that Triple H doesn't have the big ego as everyone always knocks him as having, because he was able to take a back seat to Stone Cold Steve Austin, two-man power trip, let Austin have the WWF title. Trips took the IC title after he was already a 2 or 3-time WWF champion. And then they got the tag titles together and ran with those. So Triple H is on my list. Mr. Perfect. The perfect Intercontinental Champion. Classic matches. I believe he's a 2-time former champion. May he rest in peace. Hall of Famer. Bret Hart. Bret Hart has to be on my list also. And the last name that I'm going to throw out there is the Macho Man. Oh, yeah, dig it! Gotta love Mach and his title reign that culminated at WrestleMania. Ricky Steamboat. I was just talking about that with my friend and I just brain farted, excuse me. Ricky Steamboat beating him, WrestleMania 3, for the Intercontinental title. That about wraps it up for this week. Make sure you're on the lookout Thursday for the all-new Dads of Wrestling with my co-host Jeff Meacham. We'll be bringing you part 2 of our WrestleMania memories, WrestleManias 10s through 18. For now, I am the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams, and I will be back next week. I promise. I'll see you then.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
Scan the QR codes to see what's upcoming for FTW Productions and what's available on demand right now. Button Master Stable Wars entire playlist. AEW Revolution Go Home Week, Dynamite and Rampage watch parties. Mistress Audio dramatic readings featuring voice actors from Weymouth Youth Wrestling. Elimination Chamber retrospective. All WrestleMania themed retros by Wrestling Fortune 44 Incorporated. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play series. WrestleMania 19 Revenge Mode Let's Play series. All of A Simple Man's Brand Simply Predicting panels. Both episodes of The Don DeMarco Show. AEW Spark, WWE Aftershock, every show week by week. The entirety of the NASCAR Thunder 2004 Let's Play series. Past and upcoming Jeff Meacham Network watch-along coverage. FTW Productions watch party for WrestleMania Go Home Raw. A Simple Take, WWE Simple Takes featuring Casa D18 Studios. Super Mario Bros. Z voice acting. Episode 3 coming soon. Breaking news. ATW View Impromptu. WYW Intro and Immortal Stream. Wrestling with Idiocy Episode 7, our favorite WrestleMania matches. Plugs have concluded. On to the video.
Hello everybody, this is Double A, the normal cameraman for the Renegade of Wrestling channel on YouTube. Shouts out to guys over there. Just letting you know to be on the lookout for my new show, The Double Down with Double A. It's going to be innovative, it's going to be fun. I'm not always going to talk about wrestling. I'm going to talk about sports, current events, or just shit that just really just pisses me off. So be sure to tune in very soon.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
Hey internet fans, what's up? It's Stat Boy here, and we're doing episode 8. Now, let me just say that I've been reading your comments online, and some stuff has come up in the real world. We're not going to talk wrestling today. I promise you, by episode 9, I'll go back to my normal format. I promise you that. Basically today, which is September 21st, 2011, down in the state of Georgia, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Troy Davis was executed by lethal injection. This is also going to be a touchy subject, so, you know, basically back in 1989, the crime was committed of murder of a police officer in a Burger King parking lot, and this gentleman, Mr. Troy Davis, was arrested and convicted of this crime, and of course sentenced to die. It's taken the state of Georgia 22 years to do this. The big kicker in this entire case is that there was no physical evidence found or even presented at his trial. Eyewitnesses and whatever have come forward and everything, but basically the only bits were bullet casings from what I've read in all the stories that I've been reading online. No DNA, no gun, no fingerprints, nothing. Over time, 7 out of 9 witnesses that initially said, yeah, that's the guy, have come back and said, no, that's not the guy. And there was no chance at all for a second trial. On the phone, I got my buddy Tyler. Tyler, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. Tyler and I went back and forth on Facebook a little bit, and give me your quick thoughts on this, Tyler. Go ahead. It's all you.
You know, with the whole state of Georgia, it's kind of hard for anybody to get justice down in the South area, period, but particularly in Georgia. This case was a little fishy, a little weird. I mean, a lot of people that, you know, they were forced to say that was the man.
Yeah.
They were forced to say that was the man, but they looked at him again and was like, you know, we already know this is not the man. Why are we still going through this? After 22 years, I mean, I think, you know, something's up.
There was also a report that a lot of the witnesses were coerced into talking against this guy.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. I read that too.
And also, I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry. Go ahead. I feel like I'm on CNN.
It's kind of a shame that had to go down the way it did. I mean, I like the fact that, you know, Mr. Davis went out like a man. He went out like a gentleman. You know, letting everybody know, look, I didn't do it.
Right.
You guys need to go ahead and find it. He gave specific instructions to his family to find the person that did this.
Yeah.
He looked over at the people that was about to do the lethal injection and said, may God have mercy on your souls, but may God bless your souls.
Yeah. I mean,
this man was at peace with it, and I think he already knew. When the Supreme Court took so long. I think he already knew that they was going to go ahead and reject it.
I was actually surprised that the Supreme Court stayed late. I mean, it's now, it's not a little past 9:30 here. It's almost midnight over in Georgia. I'm surprised that the Supreme Court went that far and went that long to do all this.
Yeah, a lot of people was surprised at that. I was watching CNN, and the guy there, he was like, I'm surprised. They usually take about 30 minutes or so to get this done.
Yeah.
And it took them over, you know, almost 4 hours.
And, you know, there was also another one today. The state of Texas executed somebody today, too. They got it right. They're certain about that.
Well, yeah, because the guy there, he didn't appeal it at all.
Right.
You know, he went out and basically said, yeah, I dragged the guy. You know, I did it.
He did it, and he took it, and he didn't, you know, he didn't fight. He didn't even defend himself at the very end. You know, a lot of inmates, these guys, you got one or the other. They're either going to say they didn't do it, or they're finally going to confess at the very last possible minute. And, you know, I feel so bad for this guy. I really do. As pro death penalty as I am, I really wanted this guy to stick around a little bit. You know, I mean, I thought the Supreme Court could at least give him another day or two, but to just say no, get rid of him now. The whole judicial system is a farce. I mean, with every. Go ahead.
It's been that way forever, and this is the reason why black people are the way they are towards white people sometimes. It's because they see how. Look at Casey Anthony.
Yep, Casey Anthony. We were talking about that earlier.
Right, exactly.
You know.
This chick gets off. Even though you had everything in your mind saying that chick did it. That chick did it.
And she did. Let me just say the reason I started laughing just now was for the internet fans that don't know, my buddy Tyler here, he loves to throw out it's a black thing. In our little circle of friends, it makes us all laugh. So I was anticipating that. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right, because he's black. That's right. That's right.
I feel so bad
I was cheering so hard when Mark Henry won the World Heavyweight title on Sunday.
Oh, he brought wrestling into a death penalty topic. I wasn't going to talk wrestling, Tyler.
Well, because he's black. Because he's black is the reason why I cheered so hard. How often do you see a black man actually triumph, though?
Okay.
You know, nowadays. Other than rapping or playing some type of sport.
All right, Tyler. I think we've done enough, so I'm going to cut you off now, okay? All right. Thank you, brother. Catch you later.
All right.
Okay.
All right, man.
All right, bye-bye. Wow, I can't believe my brother went from a topic that I didn't want to go into to a topic I do need to go to. And like I said, folks, I promise by episode 9 I'll go over your comments again and we'll go back to the standard format. How are we doing time-wise? Just out of curiosity. We good? We're good? We can keep going. If it, I mean, anybody else? Nobody? Somebody? Another phone call, perhaps?
What do you want me to say, Mikey? Jeez.
I want your honest opinion on this. I don't care what people say about your voice interrupting my show.
I know. And Lord, I apologize for the snortage there a minute ago.
Yeah, Tyler was very funny.
I mean, Mark Henry, quote, won the world title, and a black man, quote, not, quote, got killed today. So, you know, it's checks and balances, I guess, in the world.
Checks and balances.
Yeah. No, I think it's severely messed up based on what we've heard today on the news. I mean, I only heard about this for about an hour. Okay?
Right.
And from what you told me when you got home and watching MSNBC, because CNN doesn't think I have to cover this because they got Anderson Cooper
talking with the president.
Talking about the president of the palace, which I understand. It's a big deal back there, whatever.
Right.
I think Tyler's right. This chick, Casey Anthony, gets off scot-free for killing her kids. Whether she did it or not, she was proven innocent in a court of law. Yeah, so was O.J. Simpson. O.J. was dumb. I said this. Did I say something?
Yeah, you did. You did say something.
Show that O.J. was stupid enough because he got away with murder. Then he went and robbed somebody. He's a moron. But this guy professes innocence in the end, and like Tyler said, he went out like a gentleman. He went out. Yeah. He went out the way that he knew was going to be the way it was going to happen. He resigned himself to death, and which is a fucked up way to go. Pardon my French.
Go ahead. It's all right. I don't care. Go ahead.
You know, it just sucks that people have to have stuff like this happen to be called up in arms as well. They can't just realize that there was no evidence in this guy whatsoever, but because Georgia law permits, you know, this guy has to go down. I guarantee if his name was, you know, Anthony Stewart or something and not, you know, Troy Davis, you know, it would have been a whole other situation.
Like, are we talking race here? Or
I'm talking race
here. So are you
so
saying if he was white, he wouldn't have been executed?
I don't think he would have. I think it would have been so cold, so cold hard facts as they explain it. Okay. I think that the fact that a black man called a white cop prevailed here.
Mr. Renegade, would you like to say anything?
Oh yeah, get him going. That's a good idea.
Hey, I'm getting my. This is a time. Go ahead.
I addressed my thoughts to you when we were out in the green room, if you will, before we entered the studio to film.
We're so professional up in here. We got a green room and everything. Shit.
Yeah, then where's my?
You know, I compared this to the classic song, "The Night the Lights Went Out in Georgia."
There you go.
That's it.
Look it up on YouTube, watch the video, either the Vicki Lawrence original version or the Reba McEntire video. That kind of sums up the entire situation the way I feel about this right here.
Yeah. Like I say, internet fans, you're doing your job. I mean, you're letting everybody know how you feel, just like I do on every episode of Stat Boy Rants. So, we're going to wrap it up. In closing, I'm going to say to the state of Georgia, you guys might have screwed up, and there's a strong chance that you did. You know, I want to say to the Davis family, you know, I'm very sorry what happened to you. To the family of the police officer, I believe his name is McPhail. You know, if you feel in your heart justice has been served, then justice has been served. And like I say, let's hope we can all move past all this and move on, and let's hope justice is not blind anymore. As far as the rest of the shows go, like I said again, I promise by episode 9 I'll go back to your comments. We'll do more wrestling next time, I promise. We'll maybe do like 75-25 wrestling.
All I gotta say is, if this had happened in L.A., there'd be a riot outside of Staples Center right now.
Yeah, really. There was.
Well, not Staples Center, because there's a King's Game.
There's a King's Game going on, yeah. In fact, there actually was riot police down in Georgia. They thought they were gonna do something like, what were they gonna do? Like storm the prison and pull the guy off the table. That would have been a Hollywood movie right there.
Should be epic.
That would, and of course Hollywood.
And Tom Hanks would play the prison guard.
Yeah, he could reprise his role.
Why are going to play Troy Davis? But he's a little big to play Troy Davis.
Oh, good point. Anyway, this rant has always been Statboy approved, and Statboy is out.
And now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
The Casa D18 Studios, an affiliate of the Jeff Meacham Network, Multiverse of Media, proudly presents this retro content from the Casa D18 Studios.
It's my turn. Okay. Welcome everyone to episode 8 of Dads on Wrestling here on NoDQ.com/Renegade of Wrestling. I am Mr. Talk Wrestling. I am Mr. TW Jeff Meacham, and at my side, as always, for this crazy mixed up 15 minutes or so,
the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams. Now, you say courtesy of NoDQ.com. Are we actually getting plugged there to be giving that kind of a promotion?
We try. I try to have Aaron plug the show. But
you do your job.
I know.
And
I
do it well, sir.
I do my job. I do it well.
But does the webmaster of that website do his job?
I will get on him to put this show up because you know what? At the end of the day, if it wasn't for his show, I wouldn't have my boo-boo.
This is very
I have my boo-boo because of his show, No DQ show. Don't walk away yet. Wait for a better gimmick to walk away first. Okay. Anyway, because this gimmick has just failed. Okay.
This gimmick is totally failed.
This gimmick is totally failed. I know. But you know what?
Next thing you're going to tell me is the Christian Bear is going to come out and give the kill switch to the Edge Bear.
Christian got a bear?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'm
just saying.
That'd be cool for Christian if he did, because damn, he made it. I mean, Undertaker's got one. HBK's got one. If Christian's got one, dude, I'll buy it right now. Shit, I'm proud of Christian. Although it's not my bear, it's Aaron's bear. Anyway.
Episode 8 of Dads on Wrestling. Today we're going to talk about the best in the Indies.
So he's got one of the best wrestlers in the Indies,
Joey Ryan, baby.
And I've got one of my long departed favorites, indie promotions.
Yes, XPW.
XPW, rest in peace in the valley of San Fernando and all its porn distribution and everything. And there he goes.
There he goes.
That was the better gimmick.
Get back here.
That was the better gimmick I told you to wait for.
Get over here.
He waited for the better gimmick. I'm proud of him.
I just want to go ahead and clarify because everybody's got a different definition of what indies are. We were discussing this just before we came on the air here.
Yes, sir.
My definition of an indie promotion is something that is not WWE or TNA.
Right.
In my mind, just because you have a TV deal doesn't mean that you're not indie.
Right. Indie really is who you ask. If you toe the company line of a Ring of Honor or a National Wrestling Alliance, they're not indie anymore. They have TV, they have world titles, they have all these things. They're not indie.
But
at
they
the end
are
of the
not
day,
in the mainstream.
Yeah, exactly.
Like WWE.
Exactly.
TNA.
The NWA appears on Friday nights on frickin' the Orange County station that happens to feed in Los Angeles. Okay.
Right.
And Ring of Honor has no TV right now.
Yeah.
God bless them. Their TV deal ends in April. They're
Poor
screwed.
guys.
So, but
which
hopefully
means they'll definitely be an indie after April.
That's right. But
so,
hopefully a major TV will pick them up.
Yes.
Because Ring of Honor, if you've not seen Ring of Honor, and I am guilty of not seeing a whole lot of Ring of Honor.
I'm only guilty because it's not available in my area.
Right.
On my cable provider.
There is a YouTube.
Get on it, Charter.
There is a YouTube out there that posts the archive of the shows going back to like 2000 and whatever the first show was. So
but I don't have that kind of free time on my hands. I'm a father.
So am I.
Just like you.
So am I, but I make it happen.
I barely have enough time to go to NoDQ.com for all my wrestling news and rumors. Okay, let alone go to Ring of Honor or whatever the website is and watch 2 hour long episodes.
I'm not going to plug it
going back to 2001.
Yeah. I'm not going to plug it only because I don't want them to get taken down off YouTube.
Yeah.
Because that'd be fail.
Right.
Because everybody goes there for their source of Ring of Honor.
So anyway.
So the best of the indies. Current, past, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, from 99 to 2003, the best indie promotion, because ECW was already in the big three by 1999.
This is true.
And
Although ECW did start as the Indies.
He started as the Indies, as an NWA little bitty territory up in the upper northeast. But since 99, when you first started getting into this thing full swing, the best indie promotion has been three. XPW, and they would have lasted if they hadn't gotten in trouble with the federal government. They'd still be around, which is proven because when they do the reunion shows, they sell out. The DVDs sell out. Big Vision makes bank off those motherfuckers' names. Excuse my language again.
Hey.
This is not a PG show, not even a PG-13 show. This is barely R-rated, okay? Seriously.
Thank you. It's like we announced that when we post up the video, so no need to apologize. This is not for people 12 and under.
Anyway, XPW's up there.
Yeah.
The NWA as a whole is starting to gain ground again.
Yes.
Especially with the advent of Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Which, you know, this is going up before the taping, so I can announce it. March 6th in Hollywood.
Yes.
Colt Cabana, Adam Pearce for the World Championship. Pearce is the champion. For those of you that don't know, if you're under a rock, climb out from under it. Watch this match at the show or on TV when it airs.
Hey, I've been promoting this on Renegade quite a bit. Yes. Telling people, go to NWAHollywood.com. You can watch the episodes there each week.
You can see the Wild World Champion Lucky O'Shea, among other people. I know. You're welcome, Travis. But Pearce and Colt in a match where if Pearce loses in any way, count out or DQ in addition to pinfall submission, he is no longer the champion. If he makes it past this championship reign, past this title defense, he will have reigned for over a year again. You know, God bless the long reigning champions of the world.
Thank you.
The NWA champions like Ric Flair, they would reign for a year plus.
Because let's be honest, for a while there, the NWA World Heavyweight Championship was a joke.
It was.
It was a high-level, indie-fed championship that only got recognized by people in the know like us because it went back to Harley Race, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Terry Funk.
And even as far back as Lou Thesz and guys like that. You know, and again, had it not been, I will credit TNA for that, because if it had not been for TNA, the title would not have been resurrected from obscurity. However, I do credit Bob Trovich, Dave Marquez, and guys like that for saying, you guys are totally fucking us over. Give me my belt back. And the original plan, from what I hear, and this is not a factual statement, this is just my opinion, it was going to go to Bryan. And Bryan hurt his eye. But they found a hell of a sub in Adam freaking Scrap Iron Pearce, baby. I'm telling you, that guy has carried that company for over 3 years.
And I was not a huge Adam Pearce fan before I went to my first NWA taping. Adam Pearce sold me on himself with his work rate, his promo abilities, and his heel skills. He is, dare I say, one of the best heels on the indie circuit right now, bar none.
And Adam Pearce is one of those guys where, thank God, there's a difference between kayfabe and reality. I hate to blur the lines. We'll talk about that in a later show. Adam Pearce is one of those guys where he is such a ruthless, conniving bastard on the shows. When you get him backstage, dude, I sat there and waited for him to take a picture belt to belt. You see that picture on my Facebook, y'all. And he was like, dude, come in the locker room and tell him bullshit. I don't know if I should tell the story or not, but I'm going to.
Go ahead. We got some time.
I said, is this the belt that Shane... He's like, yeah, how much you want for it? I'll sell it to you right now. And Marquez is going, oh my God! He's obviously the NWA belt right there.
Likewise, I've got a great NWA story with Adam Pearce. When I went to my first tape, I let LB Kid, who we just saw on the prediction show.
Yes, sir.
LB Kid got to hold the belt on his shoulder because it had been his birthday a couple days prior.
The official 10 pounds of gold, baby.
Adam Pearce sees it and can see the signatures on it. And he's like, can I see the belt? I'd like to know who signed it.
Okay, so it was your 10 pounds of gold, not...
It was my 10 pounds of gold.
Oh, okay.
Okay, my replica.
And, which looks like a good one like mine, yeah.
And the LB Kid was reluctant to give it to him. He kind of looks at me for permission, and I'm like, he's got his own world championship.
Dude.
And Pearce is like, yeah, I've got my own fucking belt. Give me that. Just snatches it off the kid's shoulder.
I haven't heard this part of the story. That's funny.
Classic Epic Pierce right there.
Epic Pierce and Vintage Mikey right there.
Yeah. So anyways, back to the best in the Indies though. I agree with you. You gotta...
Adam's up there, but you know what? This guy right here, Joey effing Ryan, Joey Magnum Ryan, the technical wizard Joey Ryan.
Don't forget Joey Blaylock.
Joey Blaylock, that's right, baby.
You thought we forgot about that one, didn't you, Joey?
Well, match is over. Okay, anyway. And then the infamous Joey Ryan, 10 minutes of fame against John Morrison.
Yeah.
Or what is Johnny Nitro? I don't know if it was Morrison or Nitro back then. But
it
anyway,
was one of those.
It was one of those. God bless Joey. And you know what? The rumor is, we'll see him Monday nights at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
That's the rumor.
There's a rumor circulating that he just might be one of the participants for this season's Tough Enough.
Along with Miss USA.
Anyways. She's from Detroit. She doesn't count.
Oh, there you see.
Get back here, cameraman. The walk-offs are getting a little bit out of control.
Yeah,
that's right. Use the force to pull him back.
Okay.
No more Detroit.
So use the force to segue back to Joey.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
You know, whether he's the technical wizard, whether he's Magnum Ryan, whether he's Hollywood's own, he is one of the best workers on the scene right now.
With the best frost job this side of Michael Cole circa a few years ago. Oh.
Yes, but
anyway,
getting back to what you were saying prior, there's 3 feds that you consider indie.
Oh yeah,
you said XPW,
NWA, and of course the top indie fed in the world. Ring of Honor. Again, I haven't seen a lot of Ring of Honor, so I can't give it a whole lot of plug and prestige and whatnot. And again, I don't watch Japanese wrestling. I don't watch Mexican wrestling, except what I know about Dos Caras and the fact that his first word was Destiny, apparently.
So wait a minute, you're telling me that you don't turn into AAA wrestling on the Lucha channels to watch your buddy Jack?
I don't purposely watch Lucha channels for any reason. Sorry, Jack. Jack, come home! Your godson needs you.
Well, the big 3 feds that I can honestly say that I kind of follow, or that I acknowledge as being successful indie feds, would be Ring of Honor, like you already established.
Right.
Again, I wish I could see it more than I do, but I've got a few DVDs, got a couple videotapes, you know.
Including the first show, signed by
Brian Kendrick.
And featuring
Eddie Guerrero versus Super Crazy.
Which we watched in our Eddie weekend, which was awesome.
NWA, Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, which I kind of consider the all-stars, if you will, of wrestling right now.
Yeah, because they bring in everybody from all the NBA feds.
We just had the NBA All-Star Game this past weekend.
That's true. Which was here in LA, baby.
Is the all-stars of the Indies right now.
That's true.
And then Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
Oh, yeah.
How did you leave out PWG, buddy? That's how we met.
That's how we met.
That's how we first got to know each other, was by attending Guerrilla shows.
That was Jada Mai's first date, too. I'm probably going to get some major flack at home if she watches this episode.
Luckily for you, she doesn't, so it's all good.
Yay, no viewers for this show! Woohoo!
But that covers the feds. When we get back to the workers, you know, we've already touched on Pierce, we already touched on Joey. The Rock Nest Monsters, I think, are a great tag team.
Johnny and Johnny,
for.
Good Time and Yuma are an awesome tag team.
They're a little goofy.
They're a little goofy, but you know what? And the other thing to go on Good Time with is, not to break kayfabe, if I do, I'm in deep shit, but oh well. Good Time has the most awesome girlfriend in the world.
And we'll just leave it at that.
Okay. Well,
we'll just leave it at that. That way we don't kayfabe.
Okay, well, I already messed it up. Okay, that's okay. All right.
I think I talked over so the name didn't get audible.
And if it did, sorry, y'all. Anyway, they have awesome people working for the NWA.
I'd like to see kind of a dream match, if you will, right now. I'd like to see Santino and Kozlov versus Rock Nest. I think both teams are goofy enough and solid enough in their work rate that it would be an awesome match.
Yeah. And then, I go back to the promotion and talk about, women's wrestling. And women's is not the whole end-all be-all at this point of wrestling, but Wild, is...
Which we'll get into in our next episode when we talk about the knockouts
and the divas. Absolutely. We'll definitely get into that. But I just got to say, Wild and their workers, especially Lucky, and I guess Amanda, which we'll talk about. They're coming
Colt
up.
Cabana, Austin Aries, Scorpio Sky, Davey Richards, Chris Hero,
I did say Peter Avalon of the Standard as well. Peter's
Chaos
of the Standard.
Chaos formerly from XPW. The Rock Superstar, one of my buddies. Famous B, Ray Rosas.
Yep.
Google any of these guys. The ones that you've heard of through ROH and other feds, whatever. But the ones that we're saying that you've never heard of, Google them, YouTube them, something, because they're guys that you really need to invest some time into.
Go buy some freaking DVDs and learn something, y'all.
Thank you. We're getting the wrap-up single for our cameraman. We don't want to go too much over.
Yes.
For episode 8 of Dad's on Wrestling, I am the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams.
I am Mr. TW, the injured Jeff Meacham.
And we'll see you next time.
Ah!